Tim Drake is working 12 seemingly connected missing persons cases, and one of the kids texted a information source Tim shakes down with that giving him the name, the Chaos Monster. Tim clocks off to meet an old friend and former classmate while wearing Dick Grayson's old hand-me-down clothes. The friend in question is Bernard Dowd. Bernard Dowd was created by Bill Willingham and Rick Mays, first appearing in Robin Volume 2, Issue 121. However, that Bernard had a completely different personality, being both a bit of a conspiracy theorist and being very overtly attracted to women, including loudly talking to Tim about how attractive Tim's then stepmother, Dana Winters Drake, apparently was. 2 universe reboots later, this is a largely fresh take on the character and a great jumping on point. While this personality has been perceived as more mellow by some readers, I find this version of the character infinitely more likable, and it can easily be interpreted, those old stories, as being a queer character projecting how they think a straight person would act and behave. While catching up, largely focused on Tim's life, what life's like having been adopted by Bruce Wayne, etc., which is in line with the pre-52 universe reboot comic timeline. The waiter is murdered by the Chaos Monster. Bernard is kidnapped, and Tim Drake is knocked out with chloroform powder. After days of investigating, aided by a Detective Williams, Tim, in his civilian identity, lets himself get kidnapped by the pain cult called the Children of Dionysus, whom he suspects to be holding Bernard. He lets his status as the rich adopted son of Bruce Wayne speak for itself, and the members of the pain cult incorrectly psychoanalyze him as a bored, lost rich kid with no drive. Tim has worked out multiple members of the cult are taking on the mantle of the Chaos Monster, leading to different MOs. Tim escapes captivity with clues as to where Bernard is. Additionally, Tim's inner monologue indicates he feels lost and unsure of who he is in the larger scope of Tim's life. Tim locates the base of the cult and rescues Bernard from the sacrificial altar that Bernard is tied to. Bernard, who is a fan of Robin, notices that Robin is off-kilter emotionally. Bernard tells Robin that he doesn't have to fight on his own, Bernard having been trained in martial arts. Robin and Bernard, back to back, are surrounded by cult members, and Bernard tells Robin to tell Tim Drake that if Bernard doesn't survive, to find Tim and tell him that Bernard wishes they could have finished their date. Bernard calling their meet-up a date galvanizes Robin, and the enemies are quickly dispatched and vanquished. Afterwards, Tim, while chatting with Detective Williams, is told by the detective, "I know what you're going through. I've been through it too. You're holding too tight to a version of yourself you think you have to fit. Let go. You can figure out what you want along the way." Tim takes the advice on board and thinks of what he wants in that moment. He wants to see Bernard. He tells Bernard that he doesn't know what Bernard means to Tim yet, but Tim Drake would like to figure it out. In response, Bernard asks him out on a date, which Tim agrees to.